Life feels heavy right now, and Jesus sees you. When life feels heavy, life does not wait until you are ready. It begins asking things from you the moment you wake up. Responsibilities come first. Pressure follows. And before you even understand your own emotions, you are already expected to be strong. Every day you carry something. Work stress, family expectations, financial worries, unspoken fears about the future. You move forward because you have to, not because it's easy. You smile in front of people. You say you're okay. But inside something feels tired. Not your body. Your heart. Jesus Christ sees this tiredness. Not the version of you that people see. The real one. The one that sits quietly at night. Thinking about life. Wondering if things will ever get better. He sees you. And he says, I know how heavy this feels. Some days the weight is not dramatic. It is silent. You wake up without excitement. You do what must be done. And you go to bed hoping tomorrow feels lighter. But often tomorrow feels the same. This does not mean you are failing. It means you are human. And being human in a demanding world is not easy. You may feel like you are giving your best and still falling short. You try to be responsible. You try to do the right thing. You try to hold everything together. But the pressure never fully leaves. Jesus understands this struggle. He lived in a world that misunderstood him. He carried responsibility. He carried pain. He carried the weight of others. So when you feel overwhelmed, he does not judge you. He invites you. Jesus once said, Come to me all who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest. Rest does not mean your problems disappear overnight. Rest means your soul finds strength again. It means you stop fighting alone. Some of you listening right now feel emotionally exhausted. You are tired of explaining yourself. Tired of trying to meet expectations. Tired of pretending you are stronger than you feel. Jesus sees the effort you never talk about. Every day you kept going when you wanted to stop. Every time you chose responsibility over comfort. Every moment you held yourself together in silence. None of that is invisible to him. You are not weak because you feel tired. You are tired because you have been strong for too long without rest. And Jesus does not ask you to carry everything by yourself. He asks you to bring it to him. Life can slowly drain you if you're not careful. Not all at once. Little by little. Through disappointment. Through delays. Through unanswered prayers. You start questioning things. Why is life so hard? Why do I feel stuck? Why am I trying so much and still struggling? These questions do not scare God. Jesus welcomes honest hearts. He reminds you of this truth. Your struggle is not a sign of failure. It is a sign that you are still moving forward. You are still trying. You are still hopping. You are still here. And that matters. Some days just waking up is an act of courage. And that is enough. You do not need to fix your entire life today. You do not need to have all the answers. You only need to take one step. Even if that step is small. Even if that step is slow. Jesus never rushed people. He walked with them. If today feels heavy, do not rush past that feeling. Pause. Breathe. And remember this. You are not alone in this season. You are not forgotten. You are not being punished. God is not distant from your pain. Jesus walks with you. Even when the road feels long. Life may feel overwhelming right now. But this moment does not define your entire story. This season is not the end. This heaviness is not permanent. There is strength being formed in you that you cannot see yet. So stay here. Stay present. Let your heart rest for a moment. Because this message is not here to rush you. It is here to remind you. You are seen. You are understood. And you do not have to carry life alone anymore. When you feel stuck and life is not moving, there comes a time in life when effort feels invisible. You wake up. You work. You try. You repeat. But nothing seems to change. You look around and see others moving forward. Growing. Achieving. Living the life you hoped for. And quietly a thought enters your heart. Why am I still here? Jesus understands this feeling. He knows what it means to wait. He knows what it means to trust God. When progress feels slow and prayers feel unanswered, feeling stuck does not mean God has abandoned you. Often it means He is preparing you. Growth does not always look like movement. Sometimes it looks like endurance. And endurance is not weakness. It is strength being trained. You may feel like you are running out of time, like life is passing you by. But God is not late. He works outside human timelines. What feels like delay to you may be protection you do not yet understand. Jesus never compared people's journeys. He never rushed someone because others were ahead. He met people exactly where they were. The woman at the well, the man born blind, the disciples who failed again and again. He did not say, "You should be further by now." He said, "Follow me." Some seasons are not about success. They are about transformation. God may be strengthening your patience, refining your character, teaching you humility and trust. Lessons learned in quiet seasons build foundations that loud success cannot. You might be asking God for answers, but He may be asking you for trust. Trust when you do not see results. Trust when effort feels unnoticed. Trust when hope feels thin. Faith is not believing everything will be easy. Faith is believing God is still good. Even when life is hard. Jesus never promised a trouble-free life. But He promised His presence. And His presence changes everything. If you feel stuck today, do not assume something is wrong with you. You are not behind. You are not forgotten. You are not failing. You are being shaped. Some breakthroughs happen silently. Inside your heart. Inside your mindset. Inside your faith. Before God changes your situation, He often changes you. Do not underestimate this season. The strength you are building now will support the blessings that come later. The patience you are learning now will protect you in the future. So stay faithful. Stay grounded. Stay open. Jesus walks with you, even when the road feels unchanged. This season will not last forever. The waiting has a purpose. The silence has meaning. And your story is still unfolding. Hold on. Not because life is easy, but because God is faithful, trusting God when you can't see the way. There are seasons when life gives you no clarity. You want direction, but all you see is uncertainty. You want assurance, but your heart feels restless. You are not lost. You are being invited to trust. Jesus understands this season. He knows what it feels like to walk forward, without knowing how everything will turn out. And He reminds you of something important. Faith is not about seeing the full path. Faith is about trusting who is walking with you. Many people think faith means confidence all the time. It doesn't. Real faith often feels quiet, sometimes even fragile. It is choosing to move forward, while your heart still has questions. It is believing God is working, even when you cannot see the evidence. You may be asking God for a clear sign, a guarantee, a timeline. But God usually gives direction. One step at a time. If He showed you everything at once, you would not need faith. The next step is enough. Jesus did not give His disciples a detailed plan. He simply said, "Follow me." And they followed. Not because they understood everything, but because they trusted Him. In your life, uncertainty will show up in many ways. Decisions that feel heavy. Relationships that feel unclear. A future that feels unstable. These moments are not meant to break you. They are meant to teach you how to lean on God. Fear always focuses on what could go wrong. Faith focuses on who is in control. You cannot control every outcome. You cannot protect yourself from every disappointment. But you can choose trust. Some of the strongest people you know became strong in uncertain seasons. Not because they had answers, but because they refused to let fear decide their steps. When anxiety tries to take over, remember this: God is already in your tomorrow. The same God who carried you through yesterday is waiting for you ahead. Unanswered prayers do not mean unheard prayers. Sometimes God delays the answer to deepen your trust. Sometimes the answer is not a solution. It is growth. Trust does not remove fear instantly, but it stops fear from controlling you. Every time you choose faith over panic, your inner strength grows. You do not need to see the whole staircase. To take the next step, you only need courage. And courage is not the absence of fear. It is obedience despite fear. So if you feel unsure today, take comfort in this truth. Jesus is not asking you to run ahead. He is asking you to walk with him. One step, one decision, one day at a time. And as long as you keep walking, even slowly, you are never truly lost, finding strength when you feel empty. There are days when strength feels distant. Not because something dramatic happened, but because life has quietly drained you. You wake up already tired. Not physically, emotionally. You still show up. You still do what needs to be done. But inside you feel empty. Jesus understands this kind of emptiness. He knows what it means to pour yourself out and feel like there is nothing left. And he speaks gently into your weakness. My strength is made perfect in weakness. The world teaches you to push harder, to stay busy, to stay strong at all costs. Jesus teaches you to rest, not to escape responsibility, but to renew your spirit. Because strength that never rests eventually collapses. Rest is not laziness. Rest is wisdom. Jesus himself stepped away from the crowds. He paused. He prayed. He rested. If even he needed rest. You are not wrong for needing it too. Some of you feel emotionally drained because you keep giving without receiving. You support others. You help. You listen. You sacrifice. And sometimes no one notices. Jesus notices. Every quiet act of love. Every unseen effort. Every moment you chose patience over frustration. Nothing given in love is ever wasted. Strength does not always look like action. Sometimes it looks like stillness. Sometimes it looks like patience. Sometimes it looks like choosing peace instead of reacting. These moments shape you. When life feels overwhelming, slow down. Not everything needs to be solved today. Not every problem needs an immediate answer. Peace begins when you stop carrying what was never meant to be carried alone. Jesus does not ask you to be strong all the time. He asks you to stay connected. Because true strength flows from connection, not effort. The more you rely on him, the lighter your heart becomes. Some seasons require endurance, not speed. You don't need to move fast to move forward. Even slow growth is still growth. And growth that happens quietly often lasts the longest. If today you feel empty, this moment is not a failure. It is an invitation. An invitation to pause, to breathe, to allow God to refill what life has drained. You are not falling behind. You are being renewed. And renewal always comes before breakthrough, healing, forgiveness, and letting go. There are wounds you don't talk about. Not because they don't matter, but because you've learned to live with the pain. Smiles hide it. Strength covers it. Time passes, but the hurt remains. Jesus sees the wounds you've learned to ignore. He doesn't rush you. He doesn't shame you. He invites you to heal. Many people confuse forgiveness with weakness. But forgiveness is one of the strongest choices you will ever make. It does not mean what happened was okay. It does not erase the past. It simply releases you from carrying the weight. Unforgiveness keeps pain alive. It replays the hurt. It keeps you tied to the moment that broke you. Jesus wants you free, not stuck in yesterday. Forgiveness is not a feeling. It is a decision. Sometimes you forgive with tears. Sometimes with anger still in your chest. Sometimes again and again. And every time you choose forgiveness, you loosen the chains around your heart. Some of you need to forgive others. Some of you need to forgive yourself. You replay your mistakes. You relive your regrets. You punish yourself silently. But Jesus speaks mercy where you speak judgment. You are not defined by your worst moment. You are not disqualified because you failed. Grace meets you where you are. Healing is not forgetting. Healing is remembering without bleeding. It takes time. It takes honesty. It takes patience with yourself. And God is patient. Letting go does not mean pretending it didn't hurt. It means choosing not to let the hurt control your future. You can honor your pain without letting it lead your life. Some doors closed to protect you. Some endings were necessary. Some losses shaped your strength. God can use what hurt you to heal others through you. Your heart was not meant to be a battlefield. It was meant to be a place of peace. And peace begins when you release what you cannot chain and trust God with what you cannot fix. Healing is a journey, not a moment. Some days you feel strong. Some days the pain returns. That doesn't mean you're failing. It means you're human. And God walks with you through every step. Today you don't have to heal completely. You only need to begin. And beginning is powerful, purpose, calling, and why you were CRATD. There comes a moment when pain no longer defines you. It teaches you. And in that moment, a deeper question rises. Why am I here? Not just to survive. Not just to get through the days. But to live with meaning. Jesus never called anyone without purpose. Every person he met was seen, known, and chosen. Including you. Your purpose is not accidental. You were not created randomly. Your life is not a mistake. Even your struggles have shaped something inside you. God does not waste pain. He transforms it. Many people search for purpose as something far away. A future achievement. A perfect role. A dramatic calling. But purpose often begins quietly. In how you treat others. In how you show up when it's hard. In how you choose love when it would be easier to turn away. Jesus did not measure greatness by position or popularity. He measured it by service. The greatest impact often comes from small, faithful actions. You may feel ordinary, but ordinary moments are where extraordinary grace works. Your voice matters. Your presence matters. Your kindness matters. Even when no one applauds. Purpose does not always feel exciting. Sometimes it feels like responsibility. Sometimes it feels like consistency. Sometimes it feels like choosing what is right. When no one is watching, that is where character is formed. God's calling on your life is not to be someone else. Comparison steals clarity. You were created with a unique heart, a unique story, a unique assignment. What God has for you cannot be fulfilled by anyone else. You don't need to have everything figured out. To walk in purpose, you only need willingness. When you say yes to God, He reveals the next step. And then the next. Some seasons are for preparation. Some are for waiting. Some are for action. Each one matters. Even the seasons that feel quiet are shaping you for what comes next. Your life is speaking even now. To people you may never know. Through choices you think are small. Walk with intention. Live with integrity. Trust that God is working. Even when progress feels slow. You were created to bring light. Not noise. Not pressure. Light. And light always finds its purpose. In the darkness, overcoming fear, doubt, and inner battles. Every person faces battles that no one else sees. Not outside but inside. Fear that whispers, what if you fail? Doubt that asks, are you really enough? Thoughts that return at night. When the world is quiet. Jesus understands these battles. He knows that the greatest wars are often fought within the heart. Fear is not a sign of weakness. It is a sign that something matters. But fear was never meant to lead you. Faith does not mean fear disappears. It means fear no longer decides your direction. Doubt often shows up when you are stepping towards something meaningful. It questions your worth. It reminds you of past failures. It magnifies every mistake. But doubt does not speak truth. It speaks uncertainty. Jesus speaks truth. And truth does not shout. It reassures. You may feel afraid. Because you are growing. You may feel uncertain. Because you are changing. Old comfort zones are breaking. New responsibilities are forming. This is not destruction. This is transformation. Fear wants you to stay still. Faith invites you forward. Even one small step weakens fear's grip. Stop waiting to feel confident. Confidence grows through action. Not before it. Courage is built when you move despite fear. Your thoughts shape your direction. If you feed fear, it grows. If you feed faith, it strengthens. You cannot control every thought. But you can choose which ones you believe. Jesus reminds you. Do not be afraid. Not because life is easy, but because you are not alone. When doubt tells you you're unqualified, Remember, God qualifies those he calls. When fear says you can't handle it, remember, God strengthens those who trust him. Inner battles do not mean you are losing. They mean you are resisting. And resistance is strength. Peace is not found in the absence of problems, but in the presence of God. Let his presence quiet the noise within your mind. Today choose courage. Not loud courage. Quiet courage. The kind that shows up again tomorrow, hope, patience, and trusting God's timing. There are moments when waiting feels harder than doing. You pray. You believe. You try to stay patient. But nothing seems to change. Waiting can feel silent, heavy, lonely. Jesus understands waiting. He knows what it is to trust the Father, even when the answer has not yet arrived. Waiting does not mean nothing is happening. Often God is working in ways you cannot see yet. Roots grow underground, long before anything appears above the surface. Patience is not passive. It is active trust. It is choosing hope when circumstances suggest doubt. It is staying faithful when results are delayed. Many people give up just before the breakthrough, not because they were weak, but because waiting wore them down. Jesus invites you to remain. Hope is not pretending everything is okay. Hope is believing that God is still good, even when life is unclear. God's timing is not random. It is intentional. What arrives too early may not be sustained. What comes at the right time changes everything. Delay is not denial. Sometimes God says wait, because he is protecting you from something you cannot yet handle. Sometimes he is preparing you for more than you asked for. Your season of waiting is shaping your character. It teaches endurance. It deepens faith. It strengthens trust. These qualities last longer than quick success. Jesus never rushed God's plan. He waited. He prayed. He trusted. And when the time came, everything unfolded with purpose. If you feel tired of waiting today, you are not failing. You are growing. Growth often feels uncomfortable before it feels rewarding. Hold on. Not with clenched fists, but with an open heart. Trust that what is meant for you will not pass you by. Your story is still unfolding. God has not forgotten you. He is not late. He is precise, renewal joy, and walking forward with confidence. There comes a time when waiting turns into movement, when healing turns into strength, when faith turns into quiet confidence. This is that moment. Not loud, not rushed, but steady. Jesus does not push you forward. He walks with you. Renewal does not mean your past disappears. It means it no longer controls you.